though he had, upon occasion, splurged on $100-a-plate steak dinner with his co-workers from his perfectly nice but rather ordinary law firm downtown, his favorite meal was still the burrito pie his mother had made for him as a boy, and on any 3 nights of the week he was likely to be found making it for himself in his tiny but always clean kitchen. While he never missed his yearly getaway with his 3 roommates from the perfectly nice but rather ordinary college he had attended, he had never been to Europe. Would have been hard-pressed, in fact, to pick a country there where he would most like to go. His simplicity might well have been mistaken for stupidity to an unkeen observer, but he was more than smart enough. He was constantly marveling at the remarkably average and obvious things he overheard people announcing to one another in bars and shopping lines and airport terminals. Facts they had just discovered, or that had just occurred to them, they were proud to say, that he had always known and assumed other people did too. He was not an apathetic person, or a lazy one. He loved his family to the point of heartache, and voted with confidence in all the local and national elections. He was just one of the very few and very lucky members of the human species to fall into the distinct and often undervalued category of easily satisfied. He couldn't think of a single time when he had woken up in the middle of the night for no reason, unable to fall back asleep. And those close enough to him to know this piece of trivia found it hard to believe. He didn't get what was so spectacular about it. He had been on 3 dates with Nancy Flint on the night he took her to the party where he met the girl. He was already rehearsing the things he would say to Nancy on the night he asked her to be his girlfriend, though he knew that he should, and because there was little distinction between the two for him, would wait another 3 dates before he put the practice to use. Though there was a lot to like about Nancy, dogs and children were almost always fond of her. She never swore. She had such a good sense and acceptance of what sorts of clothing did and did not look good on her that she was one of the few women her age who could shop online without ever returning anything. And she was almost never cold. He had not taken the time to notice and catalog these facts. He was too busy worrying what she thought of him, checking his breath in his palm when she wasn't looking, or searching for a glimpse of his reflection in store windows as they strolled along during their dates, hoping for confirmation that his zipper wasn't down or an edge of his shirt untucked. That she would be the one found inadequate had never occurred to him. Flipping frozen beef patties, standing in the dewy grass of his brother's girlfriend's cousin's lawn on the night he met the girl, it was something close to pride with which he stood beside Nancy Flint in her soft blue dress, chuckling at his brother's just this side of appropriate jokes, and feeding the dog that belonged to the house when no one was looking. It wouldn't be right to say that the first thing he noticed about the girl was the shine of her hair, or the golden brown of her end-of-summer skin, though these things were not lost on him. The first thing he noticed was that she was wearing a T-shirt of his favorite band in high school, the very band whose 3rd album had been playing when he lost his virginity, and that she was wearing it over a very short black cocktail dress in a pairing that, though almost no one would think to try, looked quite nice. He had thought dresses like the one she was wearing were meant to be accompanied with tights and smart dressy footwear, but she was wearing colorful, laceless sneakers, and he could tell from a tiny scar on her left shin that her legs were bare. It would also be incorrect to say that he felt he had met her before, perhaps in as whimsical a place as another life, or a dream he once had, because if he had anticipated the existence of this girl, he would never have asked Nancy Flint to the party, or anywhere, not being one to waste anybody's time. To say that he thought of her presence as a sign of sorts, or the unfolding of a grander plan directed by someone above, would not have been right either, because the unwavering and inarguable certainty that he did love this girl jumped up from the deepest regions of his own brain. It was a constitutional fact rather than a discovery, a fact that had been treading water there all